Okay, what we've got here is a 2006 Victory Vegas, and the other day I was riding it and it started making quite a different noise. So we're just going to start it up. This is the RFID tag. Put that there. Turns the ignition on. Here it's sucking. The leak in there somewhere, sucking lots of extra air. Okay, so here's the problem. The whole manifold on the Victory is just let go. The throttle body boot in there is just had it. So that's why she was sucking air so badly. So all this has to come out now. Pull all this out, pull the airbox out, get all this clear. And I've got to replace that boot in there. So the lower section of the boot looks fine. It's just the upper section. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to undo these boots, these clamps on the boots. Get them loose. So basically, we just take it one step at a time. Then the next thing I'm going to do is undo. I can get at the two bolts on this side of the throttle body, so I'll undo them and see if I can't encourage the throttle body to come out. Okay, so I've got a Allen key here, and we can just remove the harness out of the way. We can see that we can get that up under the throttle body there, and just going to undo these bolts. There's 4 of them. There's 2 on each, 2 on each side. So these should be holding the throttle body to the airbox. So loosen those up and then we'll undo them. If we can get all. Okay, so we've got one bolt out. We'll just progressively keep working at this until we get all 4 out. That's 2. So there's 2 bolts from one side. We'll just put them down. We'll go around the other side. There we go at it. Alright, before we can get clear access in here, to get that, we actually have to remove this assembly here, take this pump off, which is not too difficult. It's just these 4 Allen keys here. So we'll undo those and take this off. That'll be our next step. Okay, I I've tried to fit in a ratchet head in there, but it's not enough room, particularly with this fuel injection line in their place. Now, I don't want to heat that. I don't want to do anything to it because it's a critical component and I don't want to mess with it. But I may have to try and get it out. It's really very, very snug on the injectors right now, and I'm not so sure about actually undoing it or getting it out of there. And I don't want to compromise it, so we'll just take these inch at a time until we get them out. Right, so this OEM part goes onto the pump, but we can just take those off. And we've got to remember which order they're in. So this is the left-hand side, it's the centre, and the other one is the right-hand side. So to get this throttle body out, I've been having a bit of an issue, but the problem was trying to get it out with the airbox in there, but I've managed to actually get it out without actually removing the airbox or anything. So there we go. She's pretty dirty, but yeah, that can do with a big cleanup. So this has all come out together. But look at the grot in there. Wow, she's pretty filthy. Having said that, look at this out in the sunlight. That is in need of a big service. So this is 2006 Victory Vegas, and there's your throttle body boot, which can now be removed with the airbox intact. So yeah, hopefully next job is to remove that. Right, so I've just managed to leverage these off. This is the old boot. Just managed to leverage these off. And now we can extract it out. So there it is. And to be honest, that's in reasonably good condition compared to some I've seen, which are all cracked and gnarly. This one is actually in reasonable condition. I could probably re-glue that manifold back in there and put the whole thing back together once I tidy this up and clean all this up. So yeah, now the main thing here is I'm going to seal both of these off with fabric. That won't allow anything else to get down in there, because you don't want anything getting in there while you're doing this work. So if I had some rubber caps for those, that would be great, but I don't. So I will just seal them off with something else until I get my new boot. Okay, this is the McCuney throttle body off a Victory Vegas, and we've cleaned it with degreaser and then hit it with some aluminium cleaner and just given it a general scour and thorough clean, and then some soapy water, and then a rinse, and then a coat of WD-40 to finish it all off and lube up the parts in there that need lubrication. So that's it. Throttle body is pretty much ready to go and be installed back in. Okay, so the throttle body has now had a bit of a degrease and a clean, and these are the parts, the O-ring that basically will be reused when I put this manifold back together, because this manifold is actually functional. I've cleaned this up with a wire brush, but it's still a bit crappy. That all needs to be properly cleaned, because essentially what has happened to this is that it's actually just come unglued from the throttle body housing. It's just fallen out. So that's why it was leaking. So put that back in with some good quality Sikaflex, install the O-ring, and it'll be a functional throttle body once again. So that's the parts. So we'll just have to essentially get all these sorted out. I've used throttle body cleaner and degreaser to get all that out. So now's the time to, I've cleaned all that out with a toothbrush. This is a McCuney part. McCuney have been making carburetors forever, and it actually says on here, there's a sticker somewhere, assembled in Mexico down there. So yeah, interesting. Didn't know McCurney. I thought McCurney was Japanese, but anyway, assembled in Mexico. So McCurney. I'm going to give this a bit of a go over again, just with some aluminium cleaner to get any further residue off all of the insides of the mechanism, and just give it a really good clean, so when it goes back together it'll be functional for good.